Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. 大家好。对不起，我的中文不好。我以前住在台湾，我在台湾大学学中文，可是现在我的中文不好。So if it's okay, I'm going to use English for my presentation. Okay. As Wayne said in the introduction, I am the founder and area director of Asian Young Life, which, as it says on the screen, is a Christian missions organization that introduces Asian American teenagers to Jesus Christ and helps them to develop a Christian way of life through activities that contribute to their academic, physical, social, and spiritual growth. And I'd really like to highlight two key words here: that we are a missions organization, and that our desire is to introduce Asian American teenagers to Christ. And the reason why I think that's important is I'm not sure that a lot of people realize that Asian American teenagers are actually one of the most unchurched groups in the United States. For example, among African Americans, a survey found that about 92% of African Americans consider themselves Christian. And among Latino Americans, about 79%. But when we look at Asian Americans, we see a very different story. Only about 51% consider themselves to be Christian. And 49% consider themselves to be non-Christians or some other religion or atheist. And that 49% concerns us, concerns me, and concerns the other people in AYL, Asian Young Life, because we want to play a part in making a difference in changing that. The way that we want to do this is by imitating the example of Christ, and that is we take the gospel to teenagers. That basically we want to spend time in their world and introduce them to the Christian faith. And this is a direct follow of what Jesus said to us. He said that we should follow Him, and He's going to make us fishers of men. The idea that we'll go out into the world and we'll be able to catch other human beings and bring them into our fold. And one of the things I think worries a lot of us in Asian Young Life is that the modern day church, we often forget about the people outside of the church. In fact, someone once said, instead of us being fishers of men, we've actually become keepers of aquariums. That we work so hard on keeping the people that we have inside the church that we forget there's still a lot of people outside the church who need Jesus as well. And that's what we're here for. We're here to not forget about the people that don't go to church. We know that youth groups do a great job with the kids inside the church, but who are reaching the kids, even right here in Palisades Park, or on the streets on any given Sunday morning, who are not going to church. So we take the mission, go into all the world, to mean that we should take the Christian gospel into the world to share Jesus Christ. And that's what we do in Asian Young Life. We go into the world of Asian American teenagers. And I'm going to show you how we do this. Our goal is to earn the right, by becoming friends with them, that we can have the opportunity to share a little bit about Jesus with them. We do an unusual thing called contact work. And basically what contact work is, we just do things with kids. We want to build relationships with them by introducing them to life more incredible than they ever imagined it could be. So I'll just show you some pictures. Here we are going mountain biking. Here we are going to a water park. We took a group of kids to California where we took them hiking at Yosemite National Park, playing frisbee with them, having a fondue party with them at someone's house, playing basketball with them, baking brownies, kayaking, the US Open in New York City, going out for ice cream in Chinatown, taking them down to Rutgers to eat in a school dining hall. We do these things because we believe that by building friendships with kids, we can earn the right to share the good news of Jesus Christ with them. And then when we do earn that right, we invite them to come be part of some of the activities that we organize. And we have an event that we call Club. We started Club in 2005. It met in the basement of a pastor's house, actually, who lives in Cresskill. Some of you might know him. Pastor King's son hosted us for our first meeting. We had 65 kids come to that meeting. And at that meeting, we play some games. We have some funny skits. Sometimes the skits are a little bit dirty. We sing songs, but we don't sing necessarily Christian songs. We sing songs that the young people are familiar with on their radios or on their iPods. And then at the end of it all, I get the opportunity to share a brief message about the person of Jesus Christ. And we try to give a message that we think the children will understand. For example, in this message, I was holding up a glass of water, and I was talking about this is the way that God meant the world to be, a clear glass of water. But then I spit into the cup of water. And I said, but this is what sin has done to our lives. And I said, who wants to drink this water now? And I said, that's the same problem that God has because of the problem of sin in our lives. I use very simple illustrations that I hope that the young people will be able to understand, because many of these people have never been to church before. Well, I want to show you what happened. We quickly outgrew houses. We had 65 young people at our first meeting, and at another meeting, we had 130 people show up. And I'm just going to show you a real quick video of what a typical Young Life meeting looks like. So the teenagers would hang out outside. They're meeting at a kid's house, someone's house. There's pizza being served. And then they go inside. We could barely fit all the young people in the house. They were watching something on TV to introduce the meeting. And then we went downstairs into their basement where the actual meeting was to begin. And then the meeting began. You can see we actually had 130 teenagers crowded into someone's basement. And we quickly came to the realization that we can't use houses anymore to hold the meeting. So there was a church in Teaneck that was gracious enough to allow us to use their space. And we now use their space. We have lots of pizza, lots of kids. They come into our meetings. And then we have songs. We have some very funny and silly skits. This is one of our leaders dressed up like a banana. And amidst all that, the young people listen. We know they come for the fun, they come for the food, they come for their friends, but we believe that they stay for Jesus Christ. And when we have this opportunity to share with them about a person that many of them have never really heard about, it changes them. And they listen to us. And then the pleasure comes in the summer. We get to take them to an amazing summer camp. And it's not like any camp that you're probably familiar with. We take them to a gospel camp that has power boats and parasailing, sailboats, water tubing. We dress in funny costumes. And then every night they also get to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ at this camp as well. And then we leaders go back into our cabins at nighttime and we get to talk about what they heard at camp. And it's here that a lot of the young people begin to understand what it means to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And it's not uncommon for us leaders to have the privilege of taking young people out to a rock and pray with them at the camp for them to give their lives to Jesus Christ. Here I am doing it with a couple different people that I had the pleasure of doing it with when I was a leader, or as I have been a leader over this number of years. And then lastly, when we bring these people home, we teach them how to read the Bible. We teach them how to find a church. And many of them also learn how to get involved and give back to the community by helping out with things like the Special Olympics and feeding the homeless people. And one of the greatest privileges for us is to watch some of the young people that we've had the pleasure of working with get baptized in a church. And we want you to know that this is what our ministry is about. We're here to help you, the people, the church, to reach the people that are no longer going to church. I'd like to just finish with a short excerpt of a message that I received from this young woman on the left. Her name is Angela. Angela is now a junior at Bergen County Academies in Hackensack. She comes from a non-Christian Chinese family. Her parents consider themselves atheists. She considers herself an atheist. But I'd like to share with you an email message that she sent to me. I just wanted to give you my appreciation of your message at a retreat, at a getaway, and my overall appreciation for AYL in general. As you said, some people may think, what is AYL? That's Asian Young Life. How can playing games, singing, eating, etc. do anything, especially for those who do not come from Christian families? But to those like me who do not come from Christian families, AYL is a really comfortable place. If someone were to give me the same message, maybe without your detailed description or one of your amazing analogies, and maybe without the singing, gaming, eating, I probably would have been more resistant. Gandhi said about him loving Christianity and not the people. I think one of the biggest turnoffs for a lot of people is that people may at times push it down people's throats. I think that is one of the reasons why my mom is so resistant towards Christianity. It's because she has only met those that have tried to push it down her throat. But here at Asian Young Life, it's totally different. You ease us into Christianity and your messages really move me and intrigue me. I think Asian Young Life really is an amazing group, and I'm so thankful that you created AYL for Christian kids and non-Christian kids alike to come together and have such an amazing time with the truly kind, caring, and wonderful leaders that AYL has. I think I really understand why I love Asian Young Life so much. It's because you guys don't push and shove to get people to convert, but still allow us to understand God and Christianity, and still show us love and compassion to those who don't come from Christian families. Thank you. We have many stories like this in Asian Young Life of people whose lives are being changed because of the loving way that we go into their world and share the gospel of Jesus Christ with them. We want to thank this church for your support of us and giving this opportunity to share with you what we do. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. We need to raise about $50,000 every year to be able to provide all the many things that we do. Because a lot of the parents of these young people don't want to give their children any money to go to these camps or these retreats. And so we have to provide scholarships for them, and many of those scholarships come from people like you. So we want to thank you for that, and if there are ways that you want to get involved, there's a table downstairs where you can learn more about our ministry and some of the specific needs that we have. And if you do want to find out more about us, we are on the internet. Feel free to look us up. We'd love to answer any questions you have later tonight. I also want to take a moment just to acknowledge I don't do this by myself. I'm part of a wonderful family of other leaders, and I'd like them to stand up. Gerald, Maria, and Mike, if you could just stand up for a moment. These are some of my volunteer leaders. They give 10 to 15 hours a week trying to reach your children, the children that don't go to church perhaps, and bringing them to places like this so that we can together go follow Jesus' command to go out in the world and be fishers of men.